What is happening to our soldiers? More U.S. soldiers have killed themselves than have died on the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan, according to Pentagon numbers. Post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury are the suspected culprits. Tonight, CBS 4 investigates a cutting-edge treatment that may hold the cure for the invisible wounds of war. CBS 4's Antonio Mora has the story.
I was extremely suicidal.
I was a couple inches between life and death.
I was drinking.
I was having a lot of anxiety. I was having nightmares.
Severe anger issues, road rage. Tried to start fights with random people.
33-year-old Barry Offenberger of Miami survived 8 months in Afghanistan. 25-year-old Jeffrey Reese of Houston spent 13 months in Iraq. Each soldier made it home whole, all limbs intact, but broken and tormented by invisible wounds.
I started having problems with PTSD and nightmares, anxiety, depression.
I was on so much medication. I needed someone to help take care of me.
Jeffrey's wife left him. He had to move in with his parents.
I got angry because I gave the Army a healthy child. I got a broken child when he came back.
Barry was in a troop carrier when it rolled over. He was thrown and hit his head.
They never diagnosed me with any head trauma.
But when he returned to Miami, Barry began to change.
I was no longer happy, even though I had a ton of things to be happy for.
That's because Barry's fiancée, Erica, had just moved in with him, and she was pregnant.
It was blinds shut, no light in the house. I don't want to get out of bed. Very bitter and angry with life. It was rough.
Did you live in fear?
I did. I'd be lying if I say I didn't.
While Barry spiraled into a dark hole, Erica put aside her fears and found the determination to get him help.
I'm a fighter, and I love him.
And she found help in another hole of sorts.
And I said, "Hyper what?" Okay.
A hyperbaric chamber is a pressurized enclosure where a patient spends time inhaling 100% oxygen. For decades, hyperbarics have been used to treat decompression sickness and severe wounds, including burns.
The presence of oxygen is how things grow and how we heal.
All right, you're almost at pressure.
Ray Crawley, a physical therapist in Delray Beach, says the chambers dramatically increase oxygen in tissue, causing your body to release your own stem cells, accelerating healing. Crawley is convinced it can also heal brain trauma, an often undiagnosed problem.
Something horrible is happening because of these explosive devices that are not being looked at.
A focused brain injury, such as an elbow to the head in a basketball game, as seen in this ESPN video, can be detected with common diagnostic scans. But Crawley says only a nuclear SPECT scan can detect the collection of little air bubbles in the brain that are caused by repeated exposure to concussive blasts.
On paper, the record, 46 IEDs impacted on my vehicle. An RPG came right over my truck and impacted the wall that was probably about 5 feet away from me.
The veterans have their brains almost look like popcorn because they've been hit in so many areas.
This is Reese's brain imaging before his 40 hyperbaric treatments. And this is his brain image after treatment. Smooth and round like a normal brain, says Crawley.
We flew him back 9 months later to be sure that we didn't have some short-term effect, and we retested him psychologically. He even did better.
I went from not being able to find my house to making the dean's list every semester since then.
He's back. And that's what it took, I do believe.
As for Barry Offenberger,
I don't think I'd be here, either dead or in jail.
instead, Barry and Erica are watching their 2-year-old Isabella grow up.
I hope it just gives someone, at least one person, a little bit of hope that there is help.
So far, Crawley has treated 14 veterans for free. The Red Cross has also helped pay for other expenses because insurance doesn't cover hyperbarics for brain trauma. That is largely because no substantial scientific studies have been finalized. The Pentagon has begun an 18-month extensive study of this treatment on brain injuries. It will conclude this summer. Antonio Mora, CBS 4 News Tonight.
So even if they're found effective, it'll take years before they can roll them out to treat the troops.
But those veterans say they did not think that they would last very long.
That's right.
So.
Well,